This area of strategic coaching, I have 3 areas I want to talk about. 3. So first, I want to share with you best practices. I want to share with you what I've seen works in organization in terms of strategic coaching. And I want to tell you one thing. Most of the strategic coaching is done not one-on-one. It's done based on team strategic coaching with the strategic team. All right? And then I want to share with you a tool. And as I share with you the tool, I want you to have this in mind that you are going to use the tool starting from today. You're going to practice it. Because it's no point me sharing with you best practice and tools if you don't use it, right? So then I'm going to have you apply for results. In other words, you are going to get a partner, okay? And I'm going to give you 8 minutes, and you're going to use those tools that I'm sharing with you to do strategic coaching. All right. So, question. I've got 3 questions. Are you all ready with that speaker there? I think you're ready, right? I've got 3 questions. The right strategy and poor execution. What do you get? What's the outcome? Right strategy, poor execution. What do you get? Anyone? Say again? Failure? What else? Really? You got a right strategy, failure? It's poor execution. What do you get? Say again? Poor result. Okay, anyone else? Chaos. Wow. Before chaos, what happens? How do you feel inside you? As a leader, if you got a strategy and you said, wow, we're going to do this, we're going to achieve this vision, we got the strategies in place, but then in the next 12 months after you say, oh, gee, terrible, we didn't execute it. How do you feel? Disappointment. What other feelings come in mind? Frustration. Who is the first one who said that? Okay, give him a hand. There you go. You got a talent management book. Give him a hand. Great. You got it. So here it is. Look at this one.
Well done. That is well done. So, what do you mean shit?
What about this, Gordon?
That is well done.
What about this?
It's well done.
When our bosses are in this state, when our leaders in this state, how do we feel? Is it a great workplace? People are frustrated. We can't get the result that we intend because there is poor execution. Now, let me tell you this. 49%, almost half of all the organizations that I go into to train, coach, and help them do strategy coaching, almost half of them are in this category. So therefore, when you're doing strategy coaching, you want to watch out very carefully for weak execution. The signs will come up everywhere. You will see it. And I'll talk to you about it as I begin to share with you the best practices. The signs begin to come up. Frustration. Look at their face. Look at their eyes when they talk about, how to get the KPIs and things like that. And you will begin to see those signs coming out. And there will be more of it. Now, second question of the 3 questions. Wrong strategy with strong execution. What do you call that? Anyone? Anyone? Wrong strategy but strong execution. Disappointment. You already had frustration. What was the word that you used just now? Chaos. Something more than chaos. What else? Disaster. Give her a hand. Wow, you know it, yeah? Very well done. Very well done. Looks like you're clearing all the books from the table there, aren't you? Yes, and we have seen that. Have you all seen that? There are a lot of companies, big brands, big names that used to be there. They are gone. Can you remember some of the names? There's about 18% of them. Sometimes we forget that 18% because they are gone and we forget about them. There are so many. Do you remember handphones? Which was the biggest name at one time? Nokia, right. How about Motorola, right? Motorola was a big name. Now, if you think about Kodak, what happened to Kodak? Huge success. Everybody knew Kodak. You open up a camera, you see Kodak is in there, right? But what happened to Kodak? They thought the strategy worked for a very long time. So that legacy, that complacency, that arrogance and pride that, hey, we are Kodak, we have been top, we've been successful. They continued on the strategy. When the market changed, the environment changed and things changed, they were slow to change. When they wanted to change, it was almost very difficult or impossible to change. In fact, my friends in SanDisk said that Kodak tried to buy over SanDisk, but SanDisk would not sell. It's too late. Today, if you open up the cameras, you don't see Kodak, you see SanDisk, don't you? Right? Yes, digital. So that's what happened then. They continued with strong execution, but on a wrong strategy. And so we see about 20% of these cases. And the signs do come up when you see them, wrong strategy. They've been doing it, and they refuse to stop doing what they were doing. They refuse to change because they had that sense of pride and arrogance that they thought they were a leading edge and they will still be forever. And that doesn't happen. Now, third one, right strategy, strong execution. Success. What else? Say? Celebration, yes, that comes after success. What else? Excellence. Results. How do you feel? Happiness. How do the leaders feel?
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
No. Cloud 9. There are quite a number of organizations that are in this category, but only about 6%. And ITD World's client, our client, SanDisk, is one of them. SanDisk has a very, very happy problem. No, it's a problem, but they're happy. You know what their problem is? They got too many customers, too much business. They're scrambling to provide, and they still cannot fulfill the demand. They got the right strategy, they got strong execution, but still not good enough. They need super strong execution because the customers are coming more and more and more. Now, another great organization I'll tell you is this. You all use this product almost every day. In fact, many times in a day, you are using it. When you flip up your laptop and your phones, you're using it and it's for free. What is that? This organization, let me give you a clue. They won Employer of Choice Award, greatest place to work for more than 10 years. Working in that organization is like cloud 9. You feel great, you feel high, you feel uplifted. They got right strategy, strong execution. Anyone? Google, very good. So you got it. Anyone here worked with Google before? No? Not in this room? Marshall Goldsmith, you can ask him. He did some programs with Google. I've had friends who are in Google. People line up to join the organization. When they're in there, they love to work. They don't want to move elsewhere. Because right strategy, strong execution, you feel great. Cloud 9, you feel like a hero. You feel fabulous. So our intention in strategic coaching is to get more organizations in this category. That's our main purpose why we do strategic coaching. We want to increase the 6%, or we want to get more organizations within this 6%. We want to have organizations like Google, SanDisk, many others. How do we do that? Are you interested to know how we do that? Are you interested? Do you want to learn this stuff and you can do it? Very good. If you want to learn this stuff and you want to do this strategic coaching, raise your hand and say, I. Very good. Now I know you really want it. So let's go. Best practices. Now, my friends, this is strategic coaching. First one, having the right people in the right place is more important than crafting strategy. Who was one of the first people who said that? Jack Welch. Yes? Isaac? Jack Welch? Having the right people in the right place is more important than crafting strategy. Let me talk about crafting strategy. Nowadays, it's not about just strategic planning, it's about crafting strategy. Why? Because strategy is an evolving process. It's agile. You got to adapt your strategy because market changes, competitive landscape changes really quick. If you don't have the right people in the right place, you cannot respond in the right way to crafting strategy, let alone you could not be able to execute your strategy. Now, having said that, if you have the wrong people in the wrong place, what do you do? Huh? What do you do? Remove them? Change them? Well, Jack Welch is very famous for, getting rid of the, C, D performers, the dead wood, those people who don't fit, right? But then, are there other ways? Are there better ways? Of course there are. You rotate people to a role where they have talent and strengths and passion where they can deliver well. We've seen so many success cases. You don't have to get rid of people. In Intel, for example, one of our clients, finance head moved to HR, hugely successful. PepsiCo, sales head moved to business head, taking care of the general management. Citibank, IT head moved to head of marketing. So putting in the right people in the right place is just one aspect. The other one is putting in the right teams. Now, if you can't change them, You put them in the right project teams. You put them in those right initiatives where they can really shine. So typically when we do strategy coaching, we pick the team very carefully. We want to have the right people in that team. So if you pick a project team to come up with new innovative strategy, you got to get the right people in the right place. All right? So these are several options that you can have. Of course, the worst case scenario is probably have another organization offer them a better job and they will move on, right? So that's the worst case scenario. Harness team and innovation coaching. Now, like I said, when you have one-on-one coaching, you get to see the issue for one person. But when you bring the team and the talent together, you see how the mechanics and you see how the interaction and what the issues begin to surface one by one. And one of those things I want to recommend to you is really innovation coaching. Because most of the time when we do this strategy coaching, people come up, same old strategy. They don't have any game changers. They don't have anything different that will be a disruptor. So innovation coaching is one of the areas that you would want to get into deeper under the area of strategic coaching. Now, I won't be going very deep into that because Ms. Sarah Lee Alcaraz will take a deep dive into that strategic innovation coaching. She will talk about innovation coaching. But I just want to highlight this as one of the best practices, okay? The next one, number 3, tap on collective wisdom of talents and experts. So here's the thing. When you do strategy coaching, when you want to come up with disruptive strategy, for example, you want to bring in key talents from different diverse groups, departments, and businesses to actually bring that diversity to brainstorm and to conflict and in a healthy manner to bring out the best in each other and craft out new competitive strategies that will disrupt the market. And also, you want to engage experts. Now, one of the CMOs in Citibank, when he called his team over after looking at the vision, mission of the bank, in Indonesia, Jakarta, and he said, you know what? I don't want the normal stakeholders in this group coaching, team coaching session. I want to look across the business and departments and want to invite some people in other countries from Citibank. I want to bring in some of the most creative brains. And also, I want to bring in some of the best marketing agencies into this team. And he brought in those people. We did that strategic team coaching. I'll tell you, strategies that came out of that half-day session was absolutely mind-blowing, amazing. So having the right collective wisdom of talent and expert when you're doing this work, making the right choices are important. So these are the first 3 best practices. 4th one, unifying and compelling vision and smartest goals. Now, if you have a compelling vision, people believe in it, the goals are smartest, then half the battle is already won. A lot of organizations, when we start the coaching, when we ask them to articulate their vision and we ask the people, it was not compelling enough. People couldn't say, what is the meaning behind this? What meaning does this have to you? How does it make a difference for you? How does it make a difference for your community, this vision? They could not articulate that in a powerful, compelling enough manner. So one of the things in coaching is to ask them the right questions. What makes your vision compelling? Let me ask you all that question. Does all these organizations you work with, do you have a vision and a mission? What makes it compelling? Do people buy into it? Do people believe it in all their hearts and minds? What's in it for them? What's in it for you? What's in it for the community? What difference are you making? All of these questions need to be answered. And smartest goals. Anyone knows what is smartest goal? Some of you smartest people in this room? You should know, right? You have been in my course before, some of you, right? We all know what SMART goal is, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. But what is the last 3? EST, what is that? I can tell you the EST is crucial to your success because, as Abraham Lincoln put it, a goal that is well set is already half accomplished. So that's why smartest goal is so important. By the way, the E stands for engaging. That means, did you engage your people in the process of setting the goal? Or did you as a boss just say, hey, take this year we need 30% growth, push it down your throat? That's not engaging, right? So how do you engage people in the goal setting process? How do you engage people in the strategy process to brainstorm together how we can achieve this goal? And after that, people are all more engaged. The S, can everybody say what S stands for? Satisfying. That goal should be satisfying after you accomplished it, And if it's satisfying and it lasts you a long time, then the goal is far more motivating and compelling. I have often asked myself this question when I pursue a goal. If I want to write a book, I ask myself, when I finish writing this book, how satisfied will I be and how long would that last? And often my answer was a lifetime. I would feel happy because I can make a difference in people's lives for the rest of my life. So that part of that satisfaction is a question that we should ask at the beginning when we set the goal. And the last one is team-based. So I emphasize over again, having the right people in the right place, the right teams in the right place is crucial for success in strategic coaching. Now, what would be some examples of compelling vision? How many of you in this room think that your organization has a vision that is really compelling, that drives and inspires people? Can you raise your hand? Not many hands raised? Very good. Can we have a microphone to share around? Anyone would like to share your company's vision and why it's compelling? Microphone? Do we have one? Yes, please. Anyone? 1Cancham, would you like to do that? Since you raised your hand. Go ahead. Tell us about, yes, over there. Raise your hand. Stand. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about the vision, just in 1 minute, and what makes it compelling, and then I'll ask you some questions. Go ahead.
Okay. For Oishi Group,
Yes.
we want to be king of the Japanese food in ASEAN.
Okay. What makes that compelling? Why king? Why ASEAN?
Well, we have, in the past over 10 years, we have creating one of the biggest food industry, especially in Japanese in Thai, and we disrupt this market. And since then until now, we have creating many brands of Japanese restaurant,
Okay.
and brought a lot of new technology, new excitement to the consumer,
Sure.
and also creating a new value to the consumer,
Okay.
not only for consumer, also for the employee and
Yes.
all the people who work in the company,
Yes.
that we grow together. With also learning together new culture. We are creating a company. Now we have become number ones in Thailand.
Wonderful. Give him a hand for that. Yeah. Wow. So I don't have to ask you any more questions because you have already given all the answers. Very good. I think you're very well trained. That's great. Now, some other examples of compelling vision. Saving lives and preserving wellness with world-class medical devices. Not just being number one in the world for medical devices. That's not compelling enough. Saving lives and preserving wellness. So you see that? How you craft that vision and how you articulate to make it compelling is really crucial. And then the goals to be achieved, to realize that vision, to make that really compelling for the whole organization, that everyone can sing that same song. And together as one team with the same vision, with the same team, with the same dream is what you create when you do strategic coaching. So this is one of the best practices. And of course, needless to say, alignment is really important. You know what? In most organizations I go, in that 50%, when I ask them these questions, they cannot answer. I ask them, tell me, what is your single one most important action you need to take and you need to focus on that every day? I get blanks. And then I said, what is that action that relates to you succeeding in a tactic in the marketplace to win? And how would that contribute to the strategy and the vision of your organization? Looking around for answers. The fact is that there's no clear alignment. So in strategy coaching, you will have to get the team together and ask them those questions. And specifically, my approach, the way I do it, I drill in very deep and detailed. Oil companies, you need to go dig deep enough, right? Otherwise, you can't get the oil, right? Friends from SPRC and others, right? So to get that, you have to go deep enough. So what I do is that I ask them to the point of actions and action steps. Tell me, what is the key action? Tell me the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how does this connect to your tactic? Which tactic is that? How does that tactic help you win in that strategy in which marketplace? And then how is that going to get you to your vision? I was about to ask 1Cancham that question, right? Because OHE is part of the bigger group Thai Bev, right? How does that align with the Thai Bev's Vision 2020, right? I'm sure you can answer that. Not now, maybe later, right? So that's really important, alignment. So one of your key roles as strategic coach leaders is to ensure alignment. When you have alignment, you have power, you have clarity, you have strength, you have people all pulling their capabilities together to achieve that one vision, that one strategy, that one goal. Use smart data and analytics, all right? Now, let me ask you a question. What kind of data do you need that will help you quantum leap your success in the marketplace. How do you make use of that? What data do you already have within your organization where you can connect and see the bigger picture? So customer insights, mega trends. What else? What else do you need to look at? Tipping point, very important. Tipping point, or what strategy gurus call it, inflection point. Let me give you an example. Let me ask you, how many of you in this room have children that are younger than 17 years old? Raise your hand. Good, quite a good number. And what generation are they? Z. Generation Z. They are the next generation. In a couple of years, Gen Zs are going to hit the marketplace and the workplace. So if you look for inflection points, you'll be asking yourself, hey, look, when is the real influx of Gen X into the marketplace and the workforce? How do we prepare ourselves to be able to attract and recruit the best Gen Z talent? And how do we find out Gen Z's preferences and their habits? And how do we touch their hearts and win them over with the right services and products? And when is that tipping point where most of them will hit that threshold of purchasing power where we can get maximum return from this generation? That will be an example of looking at that. And if you want to make it bigger, then you say, hey, what areas are you looking at? How can you expand it? And then you begin to go beyond Thailand and look at Asia and perhaps the world. And you look at expanding your vision and looking at perhaps creating services and products that will be game changer in terms of winning the hearts and minds of Gen Zs globally. That could suddenly be a game changer for you when you look at data and smart analytics and big data. All right, I've got 12 best practices. So let me go on very quickly, another 6 more, and then I'll give you a tool, and then you can practice that using that tool, okay? Use the power of simplicity and focus. Most organizations I go into when I coach, ask them the question. They start telling me, wow, this is what I need to do to achieve the vision, strategy, and they come out like 15, 20 more initiatives and things to be done. And then when I ask them, tell me which ones are important, and they said, probably most of them are important or all. And then when I say, hey, which is your top number 1 priority? They have difficulty answering. And then after that, I say, okay, fine, tell me your top 3. And then from top 3, we narrow down which is the one that will be the biggest importance, the biggest impact, the biggest difference for your organization moving forward. So that is you're helping them to simplify and focus. And the next one is face what isn't working. Stop, reduce, or change. Well, a lot of organizations, they need to stop. But why are they not stopping? Some people need to save face, some pride, something that they were successful in the past, and legacy issues, and the reluctance to change because the fear of the unknown. So here, the key thing on strategy coaching is this. When you coach them, it is as important to ask them about what new strategies to deploy, but also it is as important to ask them, what old strategies and tactics do you need to prune and cut out and stop doing? Because in strategic planning, what not to do is as important as what to do. Because if you don't stop doing those things that you should stop, then you are eating up your resources, losing focus, and you don't have that power of focus and clarity on your goal. And number 9 is drive change using strengths and core values. Now this is really, really crucial, yeah? Because there are 2 things. 1, your existing strength. 2nd, your new strengths and capabilities that you want to build for the future. And then core values, 1, your existing core values. And 2nd, the core values that you want to build in your team to have that vision realized. So let me give you an example here. ITD World. I'm the CEO of ITD World. When you talk about power of simplicity and focus, we have 1 mission, 1 vision, 3 key strategies. Our vision is to be the number 1 leadership development expert in the world. Our mission is transforming leaders and changing the world for the better. Now, what are the 3 key strategies? Key strategy number 1, delivering outstanding results to global clients. That's key strategy number 1. Key strategy number 2, smart strategic partnerships with the best in the world. That's key strategy number 2. Key strategy number 3, game-changing digital solutions. So these 3 are our top 3 strategies. Now, if you ask, okay, what are our strengths? How can we leverage on it? I'll tell you this. Our strengths is in the top number 2 key strategies. Delivering outstanding results to global clients is our strength. 2nd, our strength. What was that? What was the 2nd thing I talked about? Strategic Partnerships, that's our strength. We've been able to partner with really the best in the world. That's, I said, our key differentiator. But number 3 is a strength that we need to build for the future. So how do we do that? It's not our strength. Remember what Peter Drucker said? Peter Drucker said, the purpose of an organization is to create an alignment of strengths and make your weaknesses irrelevant. So how do we do that at ITD World? Well, we find the best talent, the most motivated, passionate people in digital solutions, and we bring them in, and we have them help build capabilities within our organization across the region. And then we take on 6 continents around the world. So we know what strengths we need to build. We know what strengths we have to leverage on right now. And so that's what we do. So we had great coaches to coach our team. We had great coaches to coach me. And then core values. What are our existing core values that we have? What are the new core values we need to inculcate? Well, if an organization has existing core values of commitment and trust, that's great. We need that to achieve our vision. But then, moving forward, if we want to be number 1, Vision 2020, we want to be the number 1 beverage provider that creates value and vitality. If we want to be that, our vision is, then we need to ask ourselves, what other core values that we need which we don't have? For example, we may need a core value of innovation. People are not innovating. So if we need that, then we need to use that new core values to help drive the change in organizations so everybody thinks, sees, and breathes innovation. And then how about undesired values? I had one leading telecommunications company, which I won't mention the name. One of their values was country club management. What is country club management? People were all enjoying their life. They were complacent, having a cruise, taking a smooth sail. But then to achieve their vision to be number 1 provider in the world in digital services, they had to transform. So they need to change to create what is called result orientation value, which they didn't have. So therefore, the leaders have to craft out the strategy how to create those kind of values. So those are best practices. 3 more to go. Collaborate across functions and external parties. So here again, when you do strategic coaching, you want the voice of all the key stakeholders to be heard, and you also want to bring in not only an external coach or an expert coach. If you have an excellent internal coach, that's great. Do that. You want to bring in some external experts who are your supporters, even key clients who can give you great insights. You don't have to get them involved in every aspect of your strategy process, but at some points it's good to bring them in to engage them. Now, you all know the story of Samsung. You know what? Coming from an agricultural-based economy, Korea, right, where Samsung started off, you know what? They had a record-breaking 2,000 patents in 1 year, and it was found that not only they get all the key talents in various functions and departments to collaborate, they did strategic team coaching, I can tell you that, but they collaborated with 500 professors. Who would imagine that? They were strong in external parties. 500 professors, they knew they didn't have the resources and talents they need, but they collaborated with 500 professors. And today, Samsung is the world record holder. They got more than 500,000 patents. Can you see that? They didn't do that on their own. They leveraged on internal and external partnerships, strategic partnerships. What gets measured gets what? Get done. So all of the scorecards and measurements on all the key achievements, results to be achieved, and at any time people know what's the gap. And if you're exceeding the target, celebrate and then reinforce. If people are achieving certain milestones, what gets rewarded gets reinforced. So remember one thing, what gets measured gets done, what gets rewarded gets reinforced. You reinforce it, people will put in more effort, will do it even better. So in strategy coaching, ask them, what measurements do you have in place? What metrics? What dashboards do you have to show your progress? And how do you reinforce the behavior to execute and get results? And my friends, the last one is this. Seeing is believing and believing is seeing. You know, I see this everywhere. Most of the time, when people didn't believe the strategy, it stayed out there somewhere in some top executive's office. It did not get implemented. It did not get executed. So essentially, when you have a strategy, when you're coming up with something innovative, or you have a new strategy, or you're wanting to pursue your existing strategy, you have essentially 2 groups of people. Believers, non-believers. So what do? you use those believers to influence the others, right? And then you engage the non-believers, creating some quick wins. Because I can tell you, momentum is a leader's best friend. If you say, hey, this is our Vision 2020, people say, yeah, really? Show me. Seeing is believing. I don't believe it. Show me. You've been talking about it. So show them some quick wins, engage them in the strategy process, engage them in coming up with solutions together, right? And, very important point, I'm going to end with this. Show them that you believe in their potential. And this is absolutely big, my friends, in coaching, because all of the studies and experience have shown is that when you believe in people, there is a much higher likely possibility that they will believe in you. And very often is that because you don't believe in them, you doubt them, they also don't believe in you and they doubt you. So as leaders, if you believe in your people's potential, you will start acting differently towards them. You will start unleashing their potential. You will start seeing strengths. You start seeing passion. And when you start believing in them, they begin to believe in themselves, and then they start believing in your vision and the organization. And these are some of the best practices you do as a leader and a strategic coach, my friends. So later on, after we do this activity, I'll ask you to share your key learnings and also some of your experiences if you would like to share. All right? So let's get into the tool right now.